Hello and welcome to the Early Bird Special with your host Carole Montgomery and Julia Scotti. And now, here's Carole Montgomery.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy whatever day it is. What is it? I think it's officially 6 months now. It's 6 months of quarantine, ladies and gentlemen. So, hey, yay. And I'm usually a little more dressed than this, but I have to be honest with you, not feeling it today. So I just, I did do color my hair though. I did color it now. So there's no roots anymore, which is awesome. But so I did color it, but I wasn't in the mood to do the straightening, and I just didn't feel like being a girl today. So I'm not. So I put on a little mascara, a little red lipstick, and here we are. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us again. This is our 1 millionth episode of the Early Bird Special. So much has been happening as the world goes, because it's 2020. You know, it was interesting. I was talking to my husband about everything that's happened, because we're at this point now where something happens and we just assume it's 2020. We just go, it's 2020. So anything that happens now, you are officially allowed to say 2020. I have now likened my career to a beautiful picture on Etch-a-Sketch, and then some toddler came around and just shook it out because I got nothing. The agency that the tour was signed with closed, just no more. Didn't even, just we're done. That's one of the many tragedies of this. So it's interesting. So it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll try 2021. But I'm not going to. When New Year's happens, I implore everybody to just go 2021. Do not do this. Do not go 2021 is going to be better than 20. Do not do that, because we said that about 2020 and 2019, and look what's fucking happened to that. In other news, in New Jersey, we'll have to talk to Julia about this. The comedy clubs are allowed to open, so that's so exciting. So, and I'm so jealous because all of you comics are, I already see everyone posting that they got work, and I'm so happy for all of us. What else is happening? The gyms are open, ladies and gentlemen. The gyms. I'm still doing this. I'm still lifting my laundry because, in both senses, comedy clubs and gyms, I don't trust that they're going to keep it clean. That's just me. I've gone to gyms for many years, and I've also gone to been in comedy clubs for many years, and we really all know how well they take care of the comedy clubs. It's very clean, very, very clean, and especially the nacho cheese maker is like so good and so sanitary. Anyway, once again, as you know, I always ramble at the beginning of it. We have lots to talk about. We have fabulous Veronica Mosey will be joining us in a few minutes, and so let's bring on my buddy. Let's bring on my pal. Let's bring on Julia Scotti.
Oh, wait, I'm not in the. Oh, there I am. Okay, I got to get in the frame.
Frame. There, that would be a good thing. Veronica is in the green room, so she did figure it out. So that's good.
So we're 6 months in today.
Yes,
I felt it kick. It kicked. the despair just fucking kicked. It just great. Yeah. Thanks for the good news right before showtime that the agency closed. You'd have been a great.
Wait, I'd have been a great what?
Social director on the Titanic.
But here's the best part.
Yeah, there's a best part? Okay.
You know how I found out? It was in the Times.
Ah, sure, of course it was. Did they mention us specifically?
Well, it's not just that. But I will tell you this, Julia, so you don't go into despair. There are some other things happening that I cannot mention online right now that should take place in 2021. It's going to be great. We may even have.
There's things happening in this room that I can't mention on so I just want you to know that.
But we may even have some stuff in November. So
good. Okay.
So we're waiting. We're waiting to see. But it was just such a left field thing. Like, wow! And this was an agency that had been around since the 30s.
Of course.
And they just That's it. No more.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Hey, I have a question for you. Go ahead.
Question? Yeah, no, I just want to let you. I'm keeping busy though.
Okay.
I'm learning. All my life, there's been certain songs by certain artists that I only ever learned like one line to, and so I'm making a study of it. I'm trying to learn and I picked Van Morrison this week. Because all I ever knew of Domino, for instance, was oh, Domino, and I think that's pretty much all anybody knows of that song.
Right.
And the other one is, of course, is Brown Eyed Girl. You my brown eyed girl. So I'm trying to learn the lyrics. They're actually quite good. I suggest if you have some free time.
I do have free time. I have too much fucking free time.
What do you want to ask me, Carol?
I was gonna in Jersey. We'll get to the gyms though, but like here in the city, a lot of restaurants have closed. Like I'm not surprised that the agency closed. But like, have you seen any like have like restaurants or bars? Have you seen much closing from over there in Jersey?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, tomorrow is VE Day. I mean, I'm going to hit every diner I ever ate in Jersey tomorrow. give me a spinach and feta omelet. I know I had one at the other diner. Give me another one. So that's my goal tomorrow. Yeah, it's big doings there. And comedy clubs, they're limiting seating to 25 people. So in other words, just like any typical weekend.
You're killing me. Hold
I'm
on a
sorry.
second. I have to my sister is calling, of course, while I'm on, because that's what my sister does. Yeah. So but I was curious if anything has gone out of business in your neighborhood.
Where I live is when you say going out of business, it means somebody up the block died. So I don't know.
Okay.
There's so many old people around here. There's not a lot of businesses here, but I worry about there's a diner in and I hate to keep coming back to diners in Tom's River called Shut Up and Eat, and these are wonderful people that own this thing, and they've really been struggling, and they do so much for the community, and they do it through comedy shows. It's a very small place, but they bring in name acts, and all the money goes to these wonderful charities. So tomorrow, when everything opens, go to Sandy's in Lakewood and go to Shut Up and Eat in Tom's River. They really could use your business.
Yes, that's only in Jersey. Well, actually,
I don't know. What do you want? I'm going to send my people up to New York.
No, because nothing's open. Everything's closed. Everything is boarded up. It's like you heard of it.
Cuomo.
Well, somebody. It's not Cuomo. Let's be honest. I always like to tell the audience is that I think that Bill de Blasio is a great uniter of people because he's united conservatives and liberals and Democrats and Republicans because we all hate him because he's a terrible mayor. He's such a terrible mayor. But it's really weird here in the city. And I don't know if we talked about this, about the fact that that there's all this stuff about New York City's dead and it's never coming back, and it's and now there's a big fight going on because Seinfeld. There was a guy, one of the gentlemen that owns.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see it.
And then Seinfeld goes and writes this critique, and then of course this today on social media, everyone went wild because Seinfeld was in the Hamptons, so he obviously was abandoning New York City, and it's like the man is worth $1 billion fucking dollars. Yeah. Let him go. It's the last week of summer. He can go to the Let him go to the fucking Hamptons. Please.
Yeah. What's your problem? The guy worked 10 years making the best comedy series on television ever.
Right. By the way, my lovely soldier Sonny is here. He said, Julia,
Sonny,
Carol, hi Sonny. Thanks. We haven't seen you in a while, so glad you're here. So listen, we're gonna ramble, but let's bring on Veronica because I want to hear her take. Yes.
Any word on Hoda?
She, you know what? I think she's ignoring us. I really do.
Well, we're supposed to go bowling soon.
I know. I know. I don't know. I mean, I keep leaving messages for her, and she's ignoring me. So we're gonna have to find out where she lives, and we're gonna have to show up at her house.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's bring on Veronica. I love Veronica Mosey. God, I mean, this woman. The fun thing about women of a certain age and also early bird special is I bring on people because I'm selfish and I want to work with my friends. But you okay there, Julia?
Oh, did you hear that?
I didn't know what the fuck you were doing there. I'm like, I just.
Well, I told you there was stuff here I couldn't tell you
Okay.
about.
But Veronica is one of those comics that she I can't explain it. She makes me laugh all the time. And she tells it like it is, like we do. So that's always a pleasure.
I watched some of her today. I had never seen. I don't know her, but I'm glad she's on because I liked what I saw.
Yeah, and the thing no, wait, thank you. I shall take it. But Veronica, of course, like 5 minutes before the show, she calls and goes, "I don't know how to get on. I thought this was a Zoom meeting." So
maybe that's what happened with Hoda.
Maybe that's it. We'll use that as so. Anyway, everybody, give a round of applause to Veronica Mosey.
Hi, Veronica Mosey.
How are you? Nice to meet you, Julia.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. Thank you.
Who are you talking about? Hoda Kotb?
Yeah, it's a little running thing because before the world ended, Veronica, I don't know if you knew this, but Julia and I were on the Today Show.
I did know that.
To promote the
show that never happens.
The show that never happened. No, it did air. So, but so the running joke is that we're hoping someday to get Hoda on this show.
Yeah, she's a whore, so I wouldn't bother with her. Horrible person. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Okay, I think Julia almost had another heart attack.
No,
first the agency closes, and now you tell me something like that.
Yes,
I'm old. I'm vulnerable. I can't take this. I have a heart condition.
No. Anyway, wait, shows in New Jersey. I live in New Jersey.
Where do you live?
When did you move to New Jersey?
I moved in December. I live in Union.
Okay, so you're only about 40 minutes from me, 45 minutes.
Where do you live, Julia?
Near Tom's River.
Oh, okay.
I'm not from here originally, but this is where all old people go. All of them.
They all go to Tom's River. Yeah. I
scheduled my mortgage when I did.
You did what?
My mortgage is scheduled for me to move to Tom's River in 30 years. So it's perfect.
Yeah. It's it's not bad. I mean, I've been down here 25 something year, 20. I don't know how old.
Tom's River's nice. It's really nice.
It is nice, but I'm like a city person. I grew up near North Bergen and all up there, and that's where I'm from. I miss even all these years later.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like it here, but I mean, I don't like it here.
So I don't know if you heard, Veronica, but yes, the comedy clubs. Julia would know more about it because she's she do. So what isn't it? What did you say?
25 tomorrow you can go to our local gentlemen's club is opening tomorrow.
Nice.
I don't know how they're going to keep the pole clean, but it should be interesting.
Well, you can't catch COVID through the chotch, so that's a good thing.
Oh, I know, but you switching dancers, in the there's chotch, touch DNA.
Well, but you may not get COVID, but you might get crabs. So there's that.
Absolutely, which that's a risk in that business anyway.
Salapopus of the blowhole. That's what my aunt used to call it. Yeah.
So 25%, right? That's to my knowledge. It's 25%.
Up to 50 I think 25% up to 50 people in a restaurant. I think.
Right, but then the comedy club, what'd they say?
Well, the comedy club, they didn't specifically say comedy clubs, but most of the ones we work are restaurants.
Yeah, I would say it's probably gonna like I was thinking about Stress Factory. I wonder what if they're allowed to open or not.
Yeah, no, they are. They're
they've been open. They've been doing the shows outside.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Any of the comedy clubs that are actual comedy clubs in New Jersey can open and just be at, I guess, 25 or 50%.
That sucks, though. Like as a comic, that blows. I mean,
up to 50 people. I'm sorry, Veronica. It's up to 50 people.
Up to 50 people.
Yeah, it's or 25%, whichever is
If they're sitting apart or whatever, it's just the thing is what I feel like with stand up is I don't know how you feel, but I feel like with things like Zoom shows and stuff like that, people are trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I think it's just stupid. Like I have no interest in doing I did a Zoom comedy show for Ray Ellen. He does the you did it, Carole. I think the
Aruba Ray's.
But the thing is, he has a fan base. He already knows the people. It was very casual. It wasn't really like a stand-up live. It was more of an interview show, so it didn't feel like get up and do your routine, you know?
Yeah.
But I think the idea of saying that this is normal, that the new normal is to fill a comedy club that seats 200 with 50 people is just terrible.
It's terrible, and unfortunately, I don't see how. I think a lot of clubs are going to end up. They're going to try to stay open, but they're going to try to. First of all, we both of you know this. You know how, like in the summertime, when you work a club and they go, "Oh, well, we're giving you summer money." Well, summer money is going to seem like $1 billion compared to what we're going to get now for COVID money. Yeah. They're going to be like, we can only give you. We're not even going to give you the fried mozzarella sticks anymore.
Right.
It'd be like, please, sir, could I have some money?
Yeah. It's going to be very, it's, and we've had this discussion before on the show about the Zoom shows. I didn't do them for a very long time. And then I did Ray's show, and then I did another one. And I agree with you, Veronica. It's basically just what you're sitting here. Right. It's not doing... it's not doing stand-up. You're just sitting on your chair, trying to crack wise. Veronica, have you done any of the outdoor shows that like Stand Up New York is doing and all that?
No, but hopefully in Union, and I'd love to get you ladies on if I can keep the whole thing going. I'm organizing October 3rd, an outdoor comedy event that's going to be from 7 to 9. And then we're just getting it in the works now. But we think we can get about 150 people. We're going to do it outside at a park, but it's like professionally, like, with professional sound system and stuff like that. That's a different story. I think that's more of a legit outdoor performance. But this concept of going to a park,
no, and standing on the grass.
Oh no, and listen, and what's funny is you don't get a mic, and the reason
Well, I don't understand why people don't have my husband is a musician. He has a PA. It's a portable PA.
Right.
I don't get it. Like, nobody has microphones in this whole city.
Well, what happened is I did a show there last night, and they actually they now have little mini amps with a mic, but I wouldn't touch the mic because But what we did, Julia and I did a show with Soul Joel down in Philly, and it was outdoors, and it was done professionally, but we made sure that each of the mics were, I had my own mic, Julia had a mic, and
we're gonna do little mic shower caps. They have
that's right. As long as we're covered,
that's fine. I think the thing is, I don't know. How do you feel about the timeline? I mean, are you still in a heightened state of fear of COVID, or are you? Because I feel what's happened is people are saying, like the beginning, right? We were all like, and then we knew somebody who died.
Right.
And then we were like, oh shit, it's real. And then we were wiping our groceries down. And then after a while, we were like, I haven't heard of anybody else really dying. And then we stopped wiping the groceries down. And then we were like, I need to go to a store. So we go to Costco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then people are kind of now slowly, it seems like, they pulled the mask down here and there. Like, do you think it's becoming, somebody was saying there, it's like fatigue. Like,
I think it's like, I don't know if you remember when AIDS first hit, if you're old enough to remember. It's a lot like that in the way, in that at the very, very beginning, that's, the movie Philadelphia, we all remember, you didn't want to touch a gay person, you didn't want to be near them, you didn't want them sneezing on you, you didn't want to talk, you just, because nobody knew what it was. And that's,
and then like 5 years later, it was like, do you have it? I don't think I have it. Let's just do this.
Yeah. I mean, I can recall, the articles, even people having unprotected sex back then too, that after a few years. So I think this is, you can't stay at that heightened level without, putting a gun in your mouth and just, Yeah.
And I think also, New York especially, because we were literally ground zero again, because it was just so, people left the city in droves. Like when we went into lockdown, and they were like, stay in your house, don't go out, get delivered. And Todd and I were like, the one thing we've kept up, I've been eating like a pig and drinking like a fucking alcoholic, and I've gained weight, but I still, every day we go out for walks every single day. And when we first went out for walks at the beginning, there was not a soul to be found. I mean, on the Upper East Side, they were gone. And I think I agree with you. I think it is fatigue because people are we still don't know so much about the disease. And that's the problem, is that people are just, and it's not just, you want to just say, oh, Americans, but it's not just Americans, because they're doing this in fucking Brazil. Right. They're doing this in Spain. People are like, we want to go out to a concert, or we want to go dance, or we want, they showed a Beta in Brazil. I mean, it was just jam-packed.
This is the thing that's funny. I get that it's...
Who was playing the Vita?
Sarah Sanders.
I get that it's COVID or whatever. I get it, but at the same, what's happening now is, like, I remember, like, my brother and his wife live down in Jersey Shore, near Bradley Beach, which I've been to 3 times since this whole thing started. And when I go at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I wrap it up at like 1. There are people there, but nobody's like on top of each other. This right. If you film something from the front and there are 1,000 people at the beach, it looks like everyone's sitting next to each other. But if you were to take a drone down and look at Bradley Beach, at least when I've been, people, they don't want to be near each other anyway. Like I go to the beach.
Those days of, I've been coming to Jersey Shore since I was 6. So I've been here down here on summers when you couldn't move on the beach. Right. It's a different zeitgeist now. But I think this year people will just, we'll put a pool in.
A lot of people do that.
And we'll do that this year.
But I guess what I'm saying is, like, we now look at any group of people as a billion group.
A suspect,
because we're so used to being by ourselves and being inside with tons of space for ourselves. That's it. Right. We don't have. So I'm concerned about people legitimately when it comes to the comedy industry and stuff. Who are people going to be so worried that it's never going to go back to what it was?
Not never, but it's going to take a good long while out of it, I think. Don't you think, Carole? I think it's going to take at least a year or so.
I think, like example, let's use the Cellar, for example, because that's such a tiny room. And they pack 8,000 people into that fucking room every night, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable. Like when we went, so when we did this outdoor show for Soul Joe, right? So we got there, everyone was social distance. It was great. But no, of course, when you're on stage, you're not wearing the mask. And then, nobody's wearing mask. But as soon as I got off stage, because I am, in the high risk group, as is Julia, I put my mask back on when I went to meet the people, but it was outside, so I didn't really feel uncomfortable. Right. I don't know if I myself will feel comfortable until we really know what this is.
I agree.
Because getting back to what I was saying at the beginning of the show, we've been all doing comedy for so long. We know how these clubs are. Do you really trust any comedy club to wipe down?
Well, the only thing makes me say that they will is that they'll get shut down if they don't. And I know that like restaurants and all kinds of places that have opened around here in New Jersey, they're all being very strict about everything. Like the number of people and the like we're going to go to the my daughter went to gymnastics, right? Right. So, that, and the other thing too, people with children, it's young children. It's a really rough time. I mean, my daughter's 6. She's my daughter. She needs people. She likes to be social. And so we decided to send her to this place that they had gymnastics 5 days. It's 5 days for a week. It's like a clinic, right? And it's the same 10 girls in the class. They wipe everything down. They wear masks on their way in. They don't have to wear masks in the facility, but the facility's massive. I mean, it's just a huge.
So it's like the bubble with the basketball.
Yeah. So they wipe everything down. And they make them wash their hands and they make them, like everything is protected. So I felt, okay, let's do this, because to me the risk is a better, I don't know. I'm willing to take the risk for the payoff, which is my daughter's happiness. I mean,
what about your school, the kids' school?
They're not going back. We had 50-50 vote here in Union, New Jersey. 50% wanted hybrid, which was 2 days in and then 3 days on computers. And the people who wanted all virtual, they won out. And the people are losing fucking minds here because the parents have to go back to work. So they're saying, well, what do you want me to do with my kid now? We pay up to $5,000 a year in taxes for school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
One of my friends, her kid's in pre-K, right? Pre-K via the web. And then the teacher's going to do a 90-minute session, and the rest is going to be supplemental education, which means fuck you, good luck with your pre-K kid. And they're going to get full salary for it.
Wow.
I don't know if you heard Biden today. Did you happen to see his press conference?
I haven't.
No.
They asked him about, going back to school, and he brought up a point that we never hear from the person we should be hearing it from, about teachers that are compromised health-wise. Like, I was a teacher, but if I was still teaching, I wouldn't go back. Yeah, and he had a good plan, and he said, "Well, look, if we do, we can work it out so that the teachers who are compromised can teach from home."
That's what I said. They do the virtual. So if you teach 8th grade and they need a 3rd grade teacher to do virtual,
right?
You can do 3rd grade this year.
Or if you do one-on-one with a kid, I mean, there's ways you gotta think outside the box.
Right.
But to be honest with you, school systems are not known for thinking outside the box.
No, they're not. But I have to, here's what needs to happen, and we know that not on our level because we're just the people. But like, for example, there has to be rapid testing now.
Right.
Julia, okay? We lost Julia for a moment. But there has to be rapid testing because like when they did all those people that were in the RNC, I'm gonna take Julia out because she's just not there. But for the RNC, there was like 1,500 people there for his speech. You can't tell me that they didn't have that rapid testing, so they knew right away who could go and who could not. Rapid testing should be made available for all of us.
But aren't the results not accurate?
No, the rapid testing is way better. Like we do, like out of the blue one day, my husband and I were walking by CityMD and we went, "Hey, let's go."
Yeah,
why not?
Right?
There's okay. Julia's back. Hold on. There you are. Are you okay there? We lost you.
Yeah, somebody called me and I had do not disturb on. Jeez, I thought I wasn't getting late. I had a
Julia, you cannot in this time. You can't do things like just jump off a call because we're.
I didn't, and it was like I got cut off. I got cut off the minute I said about I mentioned Trump.
Yeah, you mentioned
coincidence. I don't know.
But what we were just saying, Julia, is with the rapid testing. So Todd and I was telling Veronica we had gotten tested, and it was the one in the nose, and and they said it's going to take 2 weeks, and we both came back negative. But what has to happen? There is rapid testing. Sure. There is rapid testing. That everybody in the administration is getting rapid tested every fucking day.
And sports stars too.
Stars. So what needs to happen? But like I said, because we're just the people and we're not important.
Right.
I mean, the first thing should happen is they should have rapid testing for children, so they can go fucking back to school, and then you have children if they have it.
What's interesting, Carole, is that people have said. Now, I went and got a test just for shits and giggles. It was available in my town. I said, okay, let's go. Came back negative. I got an antibody test already. That was negative. And then legit, I would tell people, oh, it was cool. I went and I tested negative. People go, yeah, but you could have gotten it, since you. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? How would I, if I up to this point, have not gotten COVID? When am I going to get it? Am I suddenly going to go to a concert at the beach? My life is, I go to the store, I wear my mask. I go to this place, I wear my mask. I wash my fucking hands 7,000 times a day. I clean my house 1,000,000 times a day. So that whole thing that people keep doing about the test doesn't mean anything. I'm like, it does mean something.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course. We have a question, and this is right in what we're talking about. Are you comfortable?
No.
Do you feel comfortable when it becomes available?
No.
No fucking way. No way.
No.
Because it has to be tested for years. Measles vaccine took 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
20 years to develop.
Sure. Look at what thalidomide did. It's great for queasiness if you're.
Oh my God.
Really. Meanwhile, your kid is born horrifically.
I have come up with a new vaccine.
Okay.
It's called a can of soup. Did you see that today? Did you see the thing?
He did it again today?
No. It was just
Yeah.
It was just the president said that instead of bricks, the anarchists, what we would call protesters, are using cans of soup as weapons. And that's how he said it. Like,
Not
Well,
just once. He kept saying it over and
But
over.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, but I have to tell you, I watched analysis of a video of a protest in DC where this cop, who's like terror tactic, whatever the fuck, was watching it and saying, if you notice here, and all of a sudden these guys put up black umbrellas, like 100 guys put up black umbrellas. The people underneath the umbrellas change their clothes into all black. Then somebody spills out a whole thing of frozen water bottles for them to throw at the cop. I mean, it was crazy, like organized shit. So I don't know if I'm just saying it could be true. I mean,
and you don't know who they were.
You don't know who they were. That's the
real.
whole thing. You don't know.
And whoever they were wrong.
It's
just like that idiot child, that 17-year-old idiot child was wrong.
I didn't see. Well, I didn't.
The kid that
shot 2 people.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? I'll be honest with you. I stopped watching a lot of the news because I don't do stand up that much anymore, or at all. And I used to watch the news to try to keep abreast of everything. And then to me, the stories just became the same every day.
Right.
It became so negative. I started becoming like a really angry person. And I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just need to focus on my kid and whatever. And I've been gardening to make extra money. Isn't that funny?
Selling your crops?
Yes.
I mean, selling your crops?
She's not a prostitute, Julia. She's selling crops. Not her crotch. Not her crotch.
Not a crotch, a crop.
No, if I sold my crotch, it's way too big.
Yeah, but it's...
No, I weed people's gardens. I weed. Yeah, because I really enjoy it. I think it's
very Zen-like, isn't it?
It is. It is. You get the stress out, and then you change. You're like, oh, I'm going to pull that vine out and make this thing feel free.
There was it's like, and I hate to make this analogy, but if you get like a really good one up, a good picker up the nose, and you just sort of yank it, and it's like that feeling of
that satisfaction.
Yeah. Julia, you need to get out of the house a little more.
I know I do. I'm sorry.
What are you guys doing for money? I mean, it's like, I'm saying if you have a savings, I'm sure you're just watching it drain, but to prevent that from happening, are you doing it? I mean, what's your, just the unemployment and that's it?
I'm just waiting I'm really just waiting. We're both waiting because, my husband works on Broadway. So we're waiting to see what jobs are coming back, and we're living off of our savings. Of course, we're living off of our savings, I'm not ready to give up on stand-up yet. Do you know what I mean? That's why I try to do different stuff like this. Was like the first 6 weeks, devastated, didn't do a goddamn thing. And then Julia and I were talking. I said, I want to do a talk show. We're going to be home. Let's do it. Remember, Julia, we thought this was going to just be for the summer. This is like,
here we are.
Yeah.
23 years later, and we're
what I mean. But
it.
Eventually, I would love to have this sold. So I'm still trying to be creative as much as I can. But even our industry, like TV, there's no TV this year. I mean, there's no production because we think New York is bad. LA is. Nobody's doing anything. I just spoke to a friend of mine who's was written on a bunch of different shows. He said he got hired for a job. He did 10 weeks. He wrote it. I said, have they filmed it yet? He goes, no. Everyone's got all this shit in the can.
Because they can't have all these restrictions about distancing and whatever. Oh, my God.
I think we're going to wind up seeing, I don't watch network TV, but I think we're going to see a lot of pilots that never sold.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because they can't, there's always a lot of shooting on our street, because for some reason, because we live in Midtown Manhattan.
Anybody?
No. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, you. And a couple of days ago, we actually saw a film crew setting up for something, and they were all social distance. But it get back to what we were just saying, Veronica. I really think that the rapid testing is the most important thing, because that's going to, whether or not, like, you're always going to get an asshole that says, well, test doesn't matter. But if you've got, like, my husband was up for a job in Canada, and and it ended up falling through because they wanted to hire a Canadian. But if he had gone, he would have either had to quarantine for 2 weeks in Canada, or he would have had to have taken a test when he got to Canada and wait for the results. Right. And if the results came back positive, then he couldn't enter the country.
But how would you even do, a scene where people were interacting, where they were touching, where they were kissing or hugging or whatever? How are you going to? What are you going to do? Spray them down, hose them down, give them a silkwood shower before they do the scene?
Silkwood shower. Well, it's apparently they said in soap operas they started using the spouses as body doubles.
Is that right? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea.
Or dental dams. You could have a dental dam.
Dental dam. Oh God.
But I
hated that. I always hated that. The way it sounded was just gross.
It is gross.
I will tell you this. Talking about getting what happens when you are in a indoors. So my son is also a musician, and his last gig, the band before him, the lead singer, got COVID. So we were all like, oh fuck, well, Lane's gonna get it. And he didn't. And so this guy was and it was one of those tiny, tiny Brooklyn indie rooms where there's 8,000 people and it's, it's the size of a bathroom. And he didn't get it. So what is it about this disease that you can be in a room with somebody and not get it?
Well, you don't know that though. You don't know that.
The thing people don't talk about much is viral load. You need a serious load of a virus in order to get it into your body.
They've said that though. They have talked.
No, but I'm saying in general, people will think like I saw a guy the other day driving a convertible, the fucking gloves and a mask on. I'm like, I don't. What? Like, what do you really like? You think that like a guy's gonna ride by on his bike and like cough in your car and a massive it's gonna float it? Like, I can't.
But that goes back to that AIDS comparison we made before. That's exactly what I was talking about. Here's a guy driving in a convertible with a mask and gloves on. For what? Who's going to, like you said, who's going to huck a loogie and it's going to magically land in your mouth or something?
Yeah, I mean, people will argue, they'll say, well, it can live on surfaces up to 24 hours. It's like, yes, but what happens is as the hours go by, the amount of the virus starts shrinking immediately. So that's why we don't have to wipe our groceries down and wash your hands, you dirty. I love the people I got to wash my hands now. I'm like, you've been taking the C train for fucking 20 years. You never washed your hands? Like, I don't know.
But that's the other thing. But that's the other thing that this proved. Like I said this on stage when it was first happening, when we were still like nobody was quarantined, and I remember thinking if the only good thing is they clean the fucking mic, then the virus has been.
We probably have the highest immune systems because of the microphones that we were on.
Exactly.
You're going to mic right after a comic who's got horrible breath. And like, what? Oh, I gotta be on this thing now. Oh,
and it hasn't been cleaned in months because it's not even horrible. It's old. It's old, fermented, horrible breath.
And they keep it like out and out like that. Oh,
yeah.
And what about the comedy condos? We're probably every comedian is probably immune because the comedy condos.
Do they even have those anymore?
Well, but they had them back when we did it.
Oh, I mean, we did it. Yeah,
let me explain to the viewing audience what the comedy condo was in because the club owners were too cheap to put us in hotels, so they put us in an apartment that they barely cleaned.
Yeah,
and like if you put in one of those CSI lights on the fucking mattresses.
You can still see them moving around.
You don't need the light. It's just from whatever male comic decided to bring some fucking hoe bag.
Look, they really do swim. Huh?
I mean, I remember I would go in and because I always had a ritual when I went on the road where I'd like to put my clothes away, and you'd open up the top drawer and there'd be like all the magazines, all the fucking porno magazines, and they were all stuck together, and it was just like, oh, come on.
He's a roach.
I never put my clothes away. I don't even do that in a hotel. I never put my clothes away.
I don't either. I put it on the little table thing, and I open.
Yeah, the little fold out. I put my suitcase there, and I just take what I need.
Right. Oh, that's so funny. I just I always like to because I used to be on the road. I was on the road early on in my career, I was probably on the road for like 3 weeks every month. So I would make it a big deal that I would, I'm staying here for the week. But those condos, there was one condo in San Antonio where I literally, I swear to God, I walked into the condo and there was a bat. And I called the booker and they said, well, open the window so it'll fly out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure. Of course.
Yeah. I stayed at I did the Tropicana down at.
Oh, God.
No. Let me tell you what happened. I made some serious headway because I called up Bob Gephardt.
Gephardt.
I called Darcy is I think his daughter. And she's working in the office, and I call and I go, this condo is like disgusting, dude, and I'm not staying here, and you're gonna put me up in a room in the Trop. I'm not staying, and even the Trop is not great. So he was like, well, 300 comics have stayed there, and I go, I believe that. I 100% believe that. And I said, would you stay here overnight? Because I'm not staying here overnight. And there was a maid in the room, and I was taking pictures of all like stains and broken furniture and the mattress. Everything was still not finished being cleaned. So I just called her and was like, you got it fixed. She's like, let me get back to you. So she calls back and she's like, you're released from your duties. And this was on a Monday night. I was supposed to get like $1,000 for the week or whatever. And she said, you're not going to perform anymore. And we'd appreciate it if you'd stop taking pictures. I guess the maid ratted me out.
Wow.
So I posted everything on Facebook and was like, oh, here you go, guys. Just so you know, this is how the Tropicana cares for their comedians.
He was an asshole, though.
Blah, blah, blah. And then Bernie Pauly was there like a month later and said that they had done some renovations on the
Wow, isn't that funny? So you
you were at the hotel across the street where they did
any door you open with a key that's not a breakfast is going to be disgusting.
Yeah.
So we by the way, we're almost at 45 minutes. So I told you this goes fast.
It does.
We have to do the one question. Julia, you want to do the Cuomo question?
I wish we had another group of people to ask instead of the Cuomos, but we can ask her about the Cuomos.
Well, we could ask for
Wayne's brother. Let's do the Waynes. We haven't done the Waynes. Okay, so there's so many of them. I don't know which one to pick.
Damon.
All right,
Damon.
Pythias. Or Keenan.
Keenan, Damon, and
I
have no idea who they are.
Doc. Which one would you sleep with? Which Wayne's brother, if you had to sleep with one, which one would you sleep with?
I guess. Which one was the one with the curly hair? Because there was the bald one, and then there was the one with the curly hair.
Damon. I think it's Damon.
Keenan's the one with the bald.
Damon Wayans. I would sleep with Damon Wayans.
Damon. Yeah. It's Damon. What did I call him? Damien?
Damien. And Keenan is the one who's bald, but is built like a brick shit house. So
He was a beautiful man back in the day. He's still a beautiful man, but man, when he worked at the Improv, I walked in there one night, and the first time I saw him, I went, "Oh, Mama, who is that?
I'll tell you a great story about Keenan.
And nice. He's very
nice man. They're all very nice. Yeah. It's just that we're not family, so we didn't get to work with them. So when Robert Townsend came out with what was the movie now, and I forgot.
She's Gotta Have It. Was that?
No. That's Spike Lee.
I remember when they did it though.
So with the way Townsend would come out, he had more heat than Keenan did. This is before the Wayans were even known. So I remember them introducing Robert Townsend, and first Keenan came out as his bodyguard, and then Robert walked on stage, and Keenan stayed on stage as his bodyguard for the entire 20-minute set.
Funny. Did he wear sunglasses too?
Yes, he wore sunglasses.
Like a Secret Service guy, he had his head down.
Yeah, and then Jim Carrey, before he was anybody, I was emceeing one night at the Hollywood Improv, and Jim Carrey does his act, and then he stops and he goes, "Well, I'd like to thank you for being such a great crowd. It's really hard to be doing this because I'm blind." And he just stood there, and then Bud pushes me on stage and goes, "Go get him off. He's blind." And I'm looking at him like, funny. What is happening?
That is
and I had to walk fucking Jim Carrey off, even though he wasn't really blind. Anyway, let me.
Who used to do stuff like that too? Jerry Diner.
Oh, yeah, Jerry
Diner was like, would carry a joke. Did you know him, Veronica?
I don't think so, no.
He would carry a joke well beyond. He would put it in his car, drive it home, and bring it back like the next night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do one quick. Let's do because we got
Did we
into
get
a
an
great
answer from her,
discussion.
by the way?
What?
Who she'd sleep with?
Oh no, yeah, she said Damon.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Who would you sleep with, Julia?
Keen, no.
Okay.
More than once.
Who inspired you, comedy-wise, and did you get to meet them, if they were famous?
Did I or would I?
Yeah, who inspired you? And like, did you like? In other words, did you?
Carol Burnett. I mean, Carol Burnett was not a stand-up, but I loved her. I loved her. And I loved Lucille Ball, and I loved. But stand-up wise, I mean, Phyllis Diller. I love Phyllis Diller. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question because there's so many different people, right? Like all different types.
Right.
I used to have Steve Martin's Get Small routine memorized. I used to listen to, and I could do the whole set. Wow. So I liked him and Cosby.
Did you ever get to meet any of your heroes?
I met Robin Williams. That was really fun to see him. He came into the cellar one night, and he was wearing these really cool horn-rimmed glasses. And I was saying how I said I never had cool glasses. I said I feel like I'm just not a glasses person. I'm a good hat. I have a great hat face, but not great glasses face. And he was like, "No, well, try these on." And he gave me his glasses to try on. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm wearing." You know.
I know.
Wow.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then Ray Romano. I think Ray Romano is just killer and just the nicest person you'd ever meet. Gosh, he's so great.
I know we're running short, but I just wanted to ask Veronica this because it's come up on the show a number of times when we ask this question. And female comics will always, and not always, but often refer to male comics as inspirations, who they looked up to. I can't even imagine a male comic doing the reverse.
Well, I think that they don't give. I mean, I don't know. I think men don't. They're not taught to admire women in any way. I think
that's what. Yeah, but it's interesting, don't you think that we're all willing to admit that we look to female. Now, in my case, I mean, I can't be count. I'm Switzerland because I was with both teams, so
Yeah, but I always say that. Well, I mean, I feel that younger men they have more female comics to talk about, and they're also but older guys in their 40s, 50s, they only saw male in their 20s. They were watching male comics, right? Because there weren't that many female comics that were out.
Well, I don't know how old you are.
Roseanne.
Yeah.
You think about Roseanne, Elaine Boozler, those types of acts. Yeah. They're not going to be. They're not conducive to male. Some male humor. They were all like everything was like the females were in their little box. You know what I mean? No pun intended.
I will tell you this: at the first taping of the special, there were no male comics. At the second taping of the special, there were two. There was like 24 female comics there, but there were only 2 male comics, which I found fascinating. And I have
Poveromo was there, right?
Yeah, Poveromo was there, and Vicky's husband Max Cohen was there. Vicky Cooperman's husband.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that it's fascinating, and I have a lot of good friends. Now, some of them don't live in New York, so they couldn't get to. But it was like, really? Oh, okay, all right. Big break for one of your closest friends, but you didn't call and ask to come to the show. I found that interesting. So I don't know. I think you might be right. I think that the younger ones, because Poveromo is young and so is Max, they have a different view than, let's say, guys in their 50s or 60s about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Yeah. Okay. Well, it was the old Jerry Lewis, women aren't funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand his fucking humor. His slapstick stuff, and I'm always just like, same thing with what's his name, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan said that. Yeah. It's like, you're a pussy, dude. If you really look at Joe Rogan, it's so funny to me. Like men and women, sometimes I feel like women with brothers in general can really handle men like these discussions. Like but it drives me crazy. Anything. I'm not a big feminist, but then sometimes I find myself grasping towards like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Because I'm a girl, like whatever. It's so strange.
Yeah, but that feeling about that Jerry Lewis expression was not an uncommon one for that generation of comics.
Yeah.
Right.
which was, incredibly insulting to the comics, the female comics that were in their generation.
Do you think Phyllis Diller was funnier than Jerry Lewis? I do.
Oh,
I think my
absolutely.
mother was funnier than Jerry
Yeah,
Lewis.
probably.
She wasn't funny
But
at all.
haven't you been told though after shows, and then I don't get insulted by it when a man comes up to me and says, I really don't usually like female comics, or I've never really seen a lot of funny female comics, and I really liked your stuff. I always feel, I don't know, I don't get angry about it. I'm like, okay, good, we're changing minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but we've all heard that line. Every fucking woman comic has heard that line. I don't usually like a female comic, but I like you.
You're really funny.
And it's like, okay.
I have gotten that, but you two have never gotten this one. After a while, I just forget that you were trans. What the hell does that mean?
Like, yeah, exactly.
They came with a predetermined set of prejudices that, and I dispelled them magically. Ooh.
Oh my god! So listen, ladies, we are done. I mean,
oh, boo!
I know. I told you, it goes so fast.
It does.
And I love Veronica. I don't see you enough because I love talking with you, and I know that you're, you're in Jersey, so I'm never going to see you again.
But what's that diner in Union, Veronica? That one in Union, right near the big water tower.
Is it the comedy club?
No, the diner.
Oh, the diner. There's a Huck Finn diner. Is there?
Yeah. Why don't we meet there? The Huck Finn. I've been to the Huck Finn.
Yeah.
Can I get to your city by bus or train?
Union? Yeah.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we seriously think about getting together and I would love to see you guys.
Veronica, by the way, in her town, it's the biggest water tower in America.
That's right.
The tallest water. It's right there. It says it right there.
It's not much to look at, though. It's not like you walk by and go, whoa. You're just like, oh,
it doesn't look like the tallest one, but apparently they lay claim to that.
It's also the home of Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta lives in Union?
Well, he grew up here, and so did Jeffrey Ross.
Wow.
Dennis Ross.
No, Jeffrey Ross, and also, what's his name? Oh my God, who's the guy? Artie Lang.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
And Dennis Ross. The late, great Dennis Ross.
Yes. Do you have anything to plug, Veronica, or she's
October? You can see me weeding gardens all over Union, and also, hopefully October 3rd we'll be at the. There's a pavilion in Union that we're going to have an outdoor show starting at 7:00, and so you can check out the Township of Union website for that.
Julia, where's your CD?
JuliaScotti.com has my schedule. But as always, it's the first of the month, and that can only mean one thing: shameless plug. Hello, boys, I'm back. Available wherever fine comedy comes from. Thank you. Okay.
And I'll be at the Bel Air Diner this Friday in Astoria.
Oh, in Astoria, right? It's at the outdoor show?
Yes, I will let you know how that works.
Good luck with that.
I am a comedian. I will let you know who it is.
Oh, is it for money? Is it like
no?
Okay.
I think it's 75.
Oh, that's not money.
Make sure you get money.
That doesn't even cover the trip out there.
I'm more excited about getting a burger and fries. But I will let you know how that is. For the people out there who have not seen the Funny Women of a Certain Age specials, please watch them on Showtime, because if you watch them, they'll give us more. And we really want more of them so I can have all my friends on the show.
And share this podcast.
And yes, and it is great to see you. Julia, usually when we click out, I usually stay and talk, but I got to get out of here because I got to do another show. I love you both.
Am I holding you back?
No, I didn't want you to just be standing there going, where the fuck is Carole? I love you guys. I love you, Veronica. I love you, Julia.
Thanks a lot. Nice meeting you, Julia. We'll see you.
Nice meeting you, Veronica.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.